everybody, this is Michelle Prince. Welcome to the live video where I'm super excited that you're here. So it is Wednesday evening here in Dallas, Texas. Actually, I'm in McKinney, which is a suburb, and I'd love to know who you are, where you're from. I know we have people coming in from all over the world for these live videos, and I just want to say welcome and so happy that you're here. So we're going to be talking about what does it mean to make a difference? How many of you out there want to make a difference? You know, by go ahead and like or give me a thumbs up. You know, you could even share this video, but I want to know, what is it that you really want to do and how you want to make a difference in other people's lives? But please tell us who you are and where you're from. So I want to see, we have a lot of people already joining in, and I know from all over the world. So please go ahead, tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and what is it that you want to do to make a difference in somebody else's life. Hey Tammy, great to see you. Glad that you're here. And who else do we have on tonight? Lots of love, love all that. Thank you so much. Yeah, tell us where you're from and who you are, and if you know somebody that you feel like needs a little bit of an encouragement tonight, maybe somebody that you can share this with to just brighten their day, we would love it. So we thank you for all your shares. So we have Diogo from Brazil. Excellent. Welcome. So glad you're here. Hey, Jim from Alabama. Love Alabama. Raquel from Brazil. A couple people from Brazil. I love it. Michael from Colorado. Love Colorado. I'll be there in a couple weeks, actually. Hello, Jose. Hello, Gary from Ireland. We have Chris in Orlando. Goodness, we have a lot of people coming in right now. Look at all that love and all those thumbs up. I love it. Tammy from Michigan. I'm sure it's pretty cold there. Nano from New Jersey. I used to live in New Jersey, Maplewood, actually. And we have Lindsay from Chicago. Hello from Dallas, Texas. You're just right down the street from me. I love it. Peru, Sergio, we're giving you your shout out, so we're glad you're here. George from Lebanon, Don from Paris. Awesome. Hello from Florida. Well, listen, you know, we're really ending up the year. I cannot believe tomorrow is December 1st. Seriously, we have 1 month left to make 2016 the best year of our lives. So I hope you're thinking about that. I hope you're thinking of what you're going to do in the next 4 weeks to really end this year as great as you ever wanted it to be. But more than that, I want you to think about next year. 2017 is going to be here very soon. So what plans do you have in place to make it the best year of your life? A couple other people joining from India, Colorado, from Boston. Hey, Edwin. Hello, Michael, Colorado Springs. Sergio, you're welcome. Deanda, yes. Awesome. And Ramon from Chicago. So that's what I want to talk about. I get so excited helping people to figure out what their passions are, find their voice, you know, what is it that they can do and share with somebody else that can make a difference. And so what does it mean to you when I say difference maker? You know, I have a definition of what a difference maker is, and that's somebody that is living their life, they're following their passion, they're living with purpose, and they're on a mission to make a difference in somebody's life, even if it's just one person. So are you a difference maker? Do you want to be a difference maker? Well, if you do, you're in the right place tonight. So a couple other folks joining. Michael from Charlotte. We have, Deandra's from Wisconsin. Hello, Maria from Chicago. Richard from Ghana. Super glad you're here. We have Maurice from Texas. Child's Texas, music. Suzanne is passionate. She wants to, I'm assuming what that means is making a difference with your music. Jim, listening to others empathetically. That is a gift. You know, how awesome would it be if we could just all really come from the other person's perspective all the time without judging? So I love that you just shared that. Jose said 2017 is going to be our year. I want to be a difference maker. Well, let me tell you something. You're already a difference maker. The fact that you're even on this video tells me that you want more for your life. And so I'm so excited I get to give you a little encouragement tonight to let you know you're already making a difference, even in a small way. So what can you do, though, to make a bigger difference this year? How many of you set goals? I'm hoping all of you, but if you don't, I want to light a little fire under you tonight to think about at least what are 3 things you want to accomplish in 2017. It could be anything. It could be related to your business, it could be, or your career. It could be related to your physical health. It could be related to your family. You know, it could be related to so many different things, but if you don't have that clarity of what you want to accomplish, I can promise you, you won't accomplish accomplish anything. So hello, Kathy from Australia, Morocco. Gosh, I love it. Suzanne says, I don't like feeling other people's energy. Well, we all give and take energy, don't we? But I agree with you. So what can we do to make somebody else's negative energy positive? How can you approach somebody differently? So we have Lou is actually also on the online chat with us. It's where you see Zig Ziglar. That is our good friend Lou. And so she's asking you too, what do you want to accomplish in 2017? So while you all are thinking of that, and gosh, we have so many people coming in from so many countries. I absolutely love it. And thank you for sharing this and your likes and all that. Hello from New Jersey. So I just recently did a blog post about New Year's resolutions because, we all know what a New Year's resolution is, and we all know that it's the first of the year, it's time to set goals, it's time to put some things in place. But I want to give you some ideas of what you could do. First is taking just 3 things that you want to accomplish. And just let's keep it simple. You can always expand on it, but if you haven't started with goal setting yet, start small. What are 3 things you want to accomplish in your personal life, your professional life, that you are committed to doing? And then it's really just a very simple process of writing them down. That's the first key. If you truly want to accomplish anything in your life, you have to write it down. Now, most of you are probably thinking, well, no, I know my goals. I don't need to write it down. Well, there's something that happens in our brain when you think about what you want and then you write it down and then you commit to doing it. There's I don't even know how to describe it other than it's a powerful way to ensure you're going to stay focused on that goal. If you don't write it down, you're likely going to forget about it. It may not be something that you're thinking about on a daily basis, so it's probably not going to happen. So writing it down is the first thing. Thank you, Leanne. She says she loves my necklace. Thank you. Hello from Seattle. Thank you, Martin. Jose is saying, I'm in the industrial field and I would like to teach kids about automation and mechanics since the manufacturing field is such a big need nowadays. Absolutely. And you know what? You can start small. What if you found one child or a handful of kids in a community that you could help and teach and then expand that? Or maybe you have an opportunity to go into a school or a larger platform. But just knowing what you want is the key. Hello from the UK. Thank you, Norberto. Randy is saying, I have no goals, I have nothing to write down. Well, then let me ask you a couple questions. And you don't have to answer these in the chat, but these are ones for you to just think of for yourself. If you have no goals, then back into, okay, let's keep it simple. What do you want for your life? What makes you happy? All of us have responsibilities, right? We all have things that we have to do. But deep inside, if you just listen to yourself, your passion is in there. And when you tap into that passion and you know what makes you happy, and then you set goals toward doing more of what makes you happy, it just really triggers this whole process of living a more purposeful life and an abundant life. So that's where I would start. There's so much more. In fact, Zig has his 7-step goal setting program. We talk about a lot on these live videos because it is so powerful. And in fact, if we're doing a live webinar on December 8th that we're going to be talking a lot more specifically about overcoming procrastination, setting goals, and part of that is getting clarity on what do you want? What are your goals? It's really hard, like you said, Randy, it's hard to set a goal if you don't know what you want. So that's the first step. So make sure that hopefully you'll join us for that. I'm sure Lou will be showing that link here in just a minute of how to register for that webinar. But that's the first step. I'm going to scroll down here. I see a couple questions coming in. George is saying, every year I start with a resolution. However, I start for like a couple of months and then again I lose interest or better focus due to severe outside factors like daily hassles, problems, etc. Well, I can assure you, you're not alone. Everybody at one point or another has set a goal or a New Year's resolution that just went by the wayside. I know I've done it myself. What I found though, when I go back and I look at those goals, the goals that I set or that my resolutions weren't really deeply tied with my passion, right? So if you have passion to accomplish something, you're more likely to get it done. But the other part of that though, George, is really focusing on distractions and what is taking you away. What is so important that your goals should go on the back burner? Think about that. Life is so short. So what is so important that would keep us from doing something that we know we absolutely positively want to do before, our time here on earth ends? So it's super, super important. I'm going to take a couple other questions here. Music makes me happy. I love that. Shiva is saying, I live in Vienna and people here are technically low on goals. To be honest, I want to know how I can proceed ignoring all the negative vibes. Well, you know what? You're not alone, and not just in Vienna. I think anywhere you go in this world, there's going to be negativity. I mean, there are a lot of things happening around the world that aren't positive, but you can be that shining light. You can be the person that enters the room with a smile on your face, with an energy that is upbeat and excited about the next day. It's all about hope. And that's something that I loved about Zig Ziglar, and I love about his teachings, and why I'm so passionate about helping to keep his legacy alive is we all need hope. We're all going through something, right? Whether it's financial issues or relationship issues or career issues or health issues. We're all going through something. But if you can give someone hope and encouragement and let them know that, you know what? I've been where you are, or I know you can get past this, or there is a better way, that's when we really start to make a difference in other people's lives. It helps to have a higher power, Michael is saying. Absolutely. Whatever that means to you, but to know and to have that faith and the hope that everything is for a reason and a purpose, and you are designed for greatness. I mean, every single person watching this video, truly, everything you need to be successful, you already have it within you. You were born with those seeds of greatness. My favorite quote from Zig is, man was designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. So you have them. Whether you believe it or not, you do have them. We just need to pull them out of you and then put them in place. So Colette is saying, get the what and why you want to achieve the goal will help you to stick to carry on to achieve it. Absolutely. It's all about the why. In fact, that was part of, I was going to title this today. I was thinking about this before I jumped on. What's your why? If you don't know why you're doing something and you don't have that full clarity, it's likely you're not going to accomplish it, or you're not going to accomplish it with the joy and enthusiasm that you should. So get clear on, what do you really, really want? What makes you happy? What do you want to do for other people? What legacy do you want to leave? What do you want people to say about you when you're not here anymore? Those questions, if you just constantly ask yourself those things, you're going to begin making choices toward the life that you want to live. So if this is resonating, I want to see some like your screen or give me some thumbs up here, just so I know if this is hitting anybody out there tonight, that you were designed for greatness. All you have to do is let those seeds of greatness to flourish, to grow, to bloom. And so thank you for all the hearts and the likes. I so appreciate it. Craig says, it feels so good to be helpful. I believe, I've met people from all over the world, and ultimately I believe most people are good. And I think deep down, we all just want to make a difference. We want to make somebody happier. We want to make them feel good. We want to make them, we want to know we made a difference in their life. And it does. It's this contagious spirit that when you help someone else, it really just gets you in a better place. And then you want to do it more and more. And then that's what a true difference maker is. That is a difference maker. Edward said, I learned these things in high school, not being sarcastic, but I think people need to get more responsible without having to listen to a video. Well, that's true, but you know what? We all need the reminders. And, Zig used to say, he'd talk about personal development and motivation, and he'd say, it's a lot like bathing. Meaning you have to do it every day. Just because you know what to do doesn't mean you'll do it. And so these videos are intended to kind of ignite that spirit within you, because we all need the reminder. I have been working with following Zig Ziglar since I was 18 years old. I first attended his seminar when I was 18. I ended up working for him in the corporate office when I was only 22 years old. And truly, I have been, I feel like it's in my blood, the DNA of everything that I learned from him. But even I need that reminder. There are days that I wake up in a bad mood, or I'm negative, or I'm not exactly who I want to be. So I have to be reminded of, wait, no, I have those seeds of greatness. No, I can do all things. I can make a difference. So that's why we do these. So I agree. Yes, we should all know these things, but sometimes we need the reminder. Hello from New York City, Lee, glad you're here. Henrique has said, be the hero of your own story. Inspire others to do the same. Love that. You have a story. Everybody has a story. And the moment you share that story is when you start giving hope to other people. It's when you start making a difference. I happen to be passionate about helping people to tell their story and to write books. And that's one of the things that I want to challenge all of you to think about is, what is your story? What can you share with someone else that can make a difference? It could be on a small scale, it could be on a big scale, it could be personal, it could be professional, it could be about anything. But when you take that story and share it on a bigger platform, as in a book or in speaking or something like that, that's how you help a lot of people. So thank you for sharing that. George says, what goes around comes around. It's nice to do something good to others because eventually it will bounce back. It absolutely will. It's the golden rule. And it's what Zig's most famous quote is all about. You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. It's so simple. But sometimes I think we get so caught up in our everyday world that we forget that. Oh gosh, a lot of comments coming in here. So hello, Joanne from NYC. Okay, Donna's saying we must show support for change by lending our voice. Time for the people to rise up around the world. And darn it, it cuts off. If there's too long of a post, it'll cut off. So I can't read the rest of it. But I think I can hear. I got the idea of what you're trying to say. Suzanne's saying you don't want to hear my story. Maybe not the specific details, but my guess is that you are probably watching this because part of your story may have not been as what you wanted, or maybe it was painful, or maybe you had to go through something, but you're on the other end possibly. You're still standing. And that in and of itself, no matter what your story's about, and I don't need to know, I just know though that somebody else in this world is going through something similar. And maybe you're just a few steps farther along on the road than they are. And it's when you turn around and you share that story with them that you inspire and you give them hope. You don't have to be perfect to make a difference. In fact, you better to just be the most imperfect part of yourself, because frankly, I don't know any perfect person. I've never met one because I didn't get a chance to meet Jesus. So I didn't get to meet that perfect person. But I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. So we don't have to be perfect in order to make a difference. Does that make sense? Anyway, Thomas says, thank you for the video. God bless you too. And Maurice, thank you. I appreciate that. Rudy, the power of positivity. Great job. You know, it is all about positivity, and it's a choice, right? It is definitely a choice. So, hey, Cindy, I love it that you're here. So getting back to what this was all about, making a difference and leaving a legacy. First thing you have to do, there's no way you can be a difference maker if you don't know what it is that you can do to help someone else. So get clarity on what is your story? Who are you? At the core, who are you? And what is it that you could share with someone else that could make a difference in their life, even if it's one person? And then I want to challenge you to expand your horizons and think, well, what if I took that encouragement and I put it in a book, or I put it in a video like this on Facebook? Why not? Why not you? You know, I say it all the time. I'm no different than anybody watching this video. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm Miss Imperfect me, but you know what? Why not me? Why not you? It's your chance. And maybe this is your confirmation that this is your year to step out and do it. Krista said, this was my prayer this morning. How can I change me to be a positive person? Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you. God answers our prayers right when we need it. Yes, he does. And I love that you shared that. So thank you. James says, I like to inspire friends and family, and they can be who they want to be by believing and trusting in God for the very best, no matter how long it takes. Absolutely true. And you know, we can all do that. I think a lot of times we get so caught up in our own insecurities of like, I don't know, but who am I to say that? Or what are they going to think? But you know what? You never know. The one thing that you say could change someone's life. Truly, it could change someone's life. Ozzy says, the power of positive thoughts, reinforcement, love, and paying it forward. Absolutely. Thank you, Paul. Carolina, how can I improve my productivity and time management? I'm in real estate. Oh, well, I love this subject. Well, you know, there's a lot of different things. And in fact, you definitely want to join in. We're doing a live webinar on December 8th, and I'm going to be teaching all about productivity and how to not be busy being busy, because isn't that what we're all kind of caught up in doing? It's so funny. I get a chuckle every time I run into somebody, or I meet up with somebody and I ask them how they're doing, and I get the same answer. No matter if somebody is CEO of a company, a stay-at-home mom, a student, the same answer every time is how busy they are. I mean, think about that. But when was the last time somebody asked, hey, how are you? What's going on? Did some form of, oh my gosh, things are so crazy or so busy, or the kids are keeping me so busy or work's so busy. It tends to be our dialogue, our badge of honor. But really, it's not something to be proud of. So this webinar is going to give you all kinds of tips and tricks, but I will give you something just really, really quick. And it ties in too with that whole making a difference in our goals is that clarity of first figuring out what do you want to accomplish. Now with real estate, you need to be asking yourself the question, what is the most important thing that I need to be working on right now? You know, if you're in the business of selling homes, so how many homes do you have to sell in order to close one? How many phone calls do you have to make? How many people do you have to follow up on? You know, all of those things, and getting that clarity on first what needs to be done, and then scheduling it and putting it in your calendar. Anyway, a lot of other great tips I'm going to be sharing, so I hope you can join us for that. Marie says, yes, you should write things down. You're very inspiring. Looking at your goals written down ignites a can-do spirit. It so does. And here's the other thing. I'm one of those people. Give me likes and thumbs up if this is YouTube. In fact, I'll even show you. At all times, I have a list, a to-do list. I mean, I have several of them. I have them on my phone, everywhere. But I get more crazy joy and excitement scratching something off my list than most things. Is that crazy? I know it sounds crazy, but I know there's a few of you out there, you're just like me, you love that check, you know, or scratch it off, you know, because it feels good to accomplish things, right? Yeah, I see a lot of the smiley faces. Okay, I'm not alone. I knew you would get this. We all love the feeling of accomplishment. We hate the feeling of you know, like we failed. So when you start your day with a crazy long to-do list of about 30 things, guess what? You're setting yourself up for failure at the end of the day. Keep it simple. Grab just a few of those things off your list and commit to doing them. Something I teach called the power of 3 is, regardless of how long the list is, pick only 3 things that you're going to commit to do that day. And don't do anything else until you at least cross one of those things off your list. Now, this does a couple things. One, it keeps it simple, and our mind can't work on overwhelm, right? So if you wake up with this long list, you're already stressed out before the day's started. But if you keep it simple, it's just a lot easier from a mindset perspective. But then also, if you are one of those people that loves to scratch things off your list, when you can scratch one thing off your list first thing in the morning, you know, while you're finishing your cup of coffee even, you only have 2 more to go. That is motivating. And so it's just that snowball effect. And so whatever you need to do to give yourself something to boost you up, to make you feel accomplished, like you've accomplished something, do it. Because it really does create that can-do attitude and list, like you said. So let's see who else. Lots of comments and questions. Thank you so much for bringing all these awesome comments. Sky says, I love small lists. I do too. And you know what? Guess what? If you finish your list of 3, then you can go add another one. I mean, how crazy is that? But yet we we think by having 20 things on our list that will motivate us more. No, it's going to just overwhelm you. So keep it simple. Yes, Marie, it does feel good to accomplish. Checklists, power of 3. Let's see what else we have here. Monica says, every day my list starts with a smile. I love that. You know, it's such an easy, it's funny. I was actually in the store earlier today, and I was walking around, and I just happened to notice people. And you know, there's just some people that have that scowl on their face at all times. And I know I've had my days like that, don't get me wrong. But it's like, how easy is it just to turn a smile on? And it's crazy. You really cannot be in a bad mood when you're smiling. I mean, try it, truly. If you just turn on a smile first thing in the morning. Actually, the best advice I can give you for starting your morning is being grateful. What is at least one thing, and first thing in the morning, first thing that comes out of your, that you can think of, what are you grateful for? Because that will start the feeling of happiness. And then that smile comes, and then you're able to focus on your day a little bit better. Patricia says, live with list for each day, or live with lists for each day. Mary, I write one thing I've already done before I write my list because the positive reinforcement is awesome. Do the hardest thing the first thing at the beginning of the day. I love that. Yeah, Brian Tracy used to always say, eat the frog first. I mean, get the hardest thing out of the way so that you don't have to sit around and think about it, or the thing you dread doing the most, just get it over with. It does make a difference. Patricia starts her day with a Bible study and prayers. Awesome. And I'm sure part of that is being grateful and thinking of all the things that you have to be grateful for. Okay, Rondi is asking, how do you become or commit to a goal and see it through to the end and not get it lost along the way? Basically staying committed, a year-long goal. Oh, this is a great question. So again, going back to, Zig's 7-step goal setting formula. I talk about it a lot because it works. It just really, really works. Everybody, think of whatever the big goal you have is. Let's say your big goal is I don't know, to lose 30 pounds this year. That is definitely a long-term goal. There's no way you can write that down today and hope and pray within 30 days you're going to have lost 30 pounds. It's not going to happen. So that's one of those goals that is really hard to stick to because it's not instant gratification. So what Zig suggests and what we want you to do is break it down into smaller pieces. So if the big goal is to lose 30 pounds, okay, great. Then that means how much per quarter? Let's figure that out. And then how much per week? And then more specifically, what do I need to do tomorrow to get me closer to that goal? It doesn't mean you're going to lose that weight, but it means maybe you're going to go for a walk, or you're going to, eat better, or do push-ups, whatever that is. But those small goals eventually will lead to the big goal. But you have to have something on a daily, or at the very least a weekly basis, to keep it in front of you. Because one of the most common things ever is to set a goal or New Year's resolution, write it down, and put it in a drawer and don't think about it till the next year. And you pull it out and you look, oh, I didn't get any of these things accomplished. Well, it's because it wasn't in front of you. So keep it in front of you daily, weekly, as much as you can. Sky says, when I've had the greatest challenges, I list what I'm grateful for. I love that. It's so true. It's so simple too. No matter who you are and what is going on in your life, because trust me, we all have difficulties. Even those who may act like they don't have something that is a challenge in their life. But if you can just take a little shift, yes, maybe if you have an illness, yes, of course, that is not something that you want, but maybe you could be grateful that it's brought you closer to family, or it's made you more aware of what to be grateful for. So there's always something to be grateful for, even amongst some of the other problems in our life. Stanley says, working out every day. That's awesome. And that's another thing is, how you start your day and your physical health. And that is something that I am trying to work on, actually. I'm trying to get back in the habit of taking care of myself first thing in the morning. And I've started doing yoga, and I actually really, really like it. So what else? What other questions? What other comments? What else are you going to do to make this, the very end of 2016, the best of the year, but really more, let's focus on 2017, because it's truly right around the corner. And if you wait till January 1st to start thinking about your goals, you're already going to lose traction. So start thinking about those things now. Thomas is saying, the power of having motivational system audiobooks and books self-motivation keeps you on the ball of completing your goals and helping you come closer to your dream. 100%. What you fill your mind with is the direction in which you're going to go, and who you hang around with and the people you surround yourself with will have a huge impact. So watching these videos, reading a book, listening to the Ziglar podcast, anything like that, just to keep you in that positive frame of mind, is going to keep you that much more motivated. It's going to keep you focused on your goals, and in the end, you will achieve more. Iona says, smile is lightning system of the face and the heating system of the heart. Share your smile and warm up the world. I love that. That is awesome. And everybody has a great smile. Doesn't matter what you look like. When you smile, everyone looks great. Tim, how are the 7 steps of goal making different to the SMART goal format? It's very similar. In fact, when we do the webinar on December 8th, we're going to be going through that in a lot more detail. So I encourage you to join for that, and we can talk about the comparisons. At the end of the day, I'm kind of a big proponent on, keeping things simple. So even if you don't have a formula quite yet, or the program, you can start small by just picking at least one goal in a personal side of your life and a professional side of your life. Then you can dive down even deeper, thinking about the whole picture of who you are. But it's just important to start and then put those other pieces in place. Marie says, my 4-month-old grandson is named Prince, and he's listening to you. Oh, hi, Prince. What an awesome name. I got very blessed by, I married my Prince, so I can't take the name, I can't say it's mine. I married into it, but I'm pretty happy I found my Prince. So Kenneth says, hey, Zig, Kenneth from Visalia. Hello, glad you're here. Monica, what does Zig suggest how you handle preventing distractions from getting you off track? Well, this is something that we all deal with, and there are different types of distractions. There's technology. Nowadays we have Facebook, we have email, we have text message, we have phone, we have all of these things constantly distracting us. So that's one set. But then there's also people distractions, people coming into your office asking, hey, do you have just a second? And so I'll just give you a couple short little things here, because this is exactly what the webinar will be about on December 8th, is how do we tackle that? But first thing I would do is whenever you're focusing on a task, it's super important to turn off any of those distractions. So for example, if you're on your computer and let's say you're working, you're typing up a document and your email is still on, most of us, when an email comes in and we get a little, bing at the bottom of our screen to alert us that there's a new message, that's a distraction. Even if you have all the discipline in the world and you don't intend to look at it, there's a part of us that just needs to know, like, oh, who just emailed me? And we get the tendency to be dragged into that. And so then we'll go over to email and then we end up there for a couple hours. So starting with clearing your desk, whatever you're working on, give yourself the time, a short amount of time, a short chunk of time, and just work on that and get rid of all distractions. If your cell phone is a distraction, you get text messages all the time, for 30 minutes, I think putting it in a drawer, I'm pretty sure they'll be there waiting for you when you get back. Meaning a lot of what our distractions are choices we're making to let them distract us. But we do have to set boundaries with our time, just like we do with people. So it's real important. Let's see. Hello from Newfoundland, Cynthia. Happy you're here. Enrique, follow your passion and this will get on track. Awesome. Passion is so, so important. So I want to just leave you with a couple things. So we were talking a little bit about stories. There is I'd love for you to read the blog post that I mentioned about New Year's resolution and how to get started. And if you do have a passion to write a book, I'd love for you to join me at a seminar that I have in January called Bookbound by the Sea. And all of that's in the blog post. You can see the details there. But even if you don't want to write a book, I still want you to think about what is your story, because your story is going to be very, very important to your goals and who you are and what you want to accomplish. They're all intertwined. So it's important. Hey, Tina from Mississippi. Hello from Malaysia. Good morning. It's good evening here in Texas, but good morning to you. Sky is asking, so how do you say no to projects respectfully? Well, I don't know if your question is you're an employee and your boss is asking you to do something, or if it's more of a community kind of thing. So I'm just going to give you an overall answer for what my suggestion is. I'm very big on boundaries, and I have a big belief that people will treat you to the exact degree that you allow them. So if you allow people to, people will respect you and your time to the exact degree that you respect your own time and yourself. So for example, if you are available 24/7 and somebody emails you and says, hey, I need you to do this, and you respond right away and it's after hours, you're really setting an expectation that you will be available. Now, there are always situations where you have to do something, but I'm talking generally speaking. Are you available 100% of the time? If you are, then unfortunately you are allowing people to come into your time like that. Does that make sense? Because you can always set the boundary. I have a very strict boundary. So I still have two boys at home. Now, I'm not perfect at this, but I try my best when I'm home to be at home with them. And with the exception of videos like this and a few other things, I'm pretty protective of my evenings. I don't do coaching. I have coaching clients, and I don't do coaching calls at night because that's my time with my kids. And the same goes on my weekends. Unless there's an emergency and a reason, of course I speak at conferences and there's plenty of times I'm gone on a weekend. But if it's not something that I absolutely have to be at, I'm very clear that my clients don't reach me on a Saturday, because guess what? I'm on a soccer field or a baseball field, or I'm doing something with my kids, or I'm doing something with my husband. And my business is so important, but at the same time, my life is, my family is. So that boundary I make crystal clear to my clients. So for you, I would just suggest, how are you letting people know you're available? Are you saying, yes, I will help you with that project. However, I'm not available until tomorrow, or I can't get to that till next week. You setting the expectation up front is perfectly okay, but it also allows people to respect you and your time. So again, people will respect you to the exact degree you respect yourself. So make sure it starts with you. Yes, what you put up with is what you end up with. Now, there are situations, trust me, when that this doesn't always apply, but if you try to be clear on, okay, I'm designing my life, and this is what I want, and then let people know that, and you'd be amazed how it just starts to come together. Okay, so if you have made yourself available to your job 24/7 in the past, is it possible to scale back? Justina's asking this, without people thinking you aren't doing your job. Well, that's a good question. And honestly, until I don't know the specifics of your employer or boss or anything like that. So I don't know I don't want to tell you something that maybe is in your job description. But I think it's perfectly fair that if you have a set time, maybe you're expected to be at the office from 7 to 6 or 7 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever those times are, I think it's perfectly fair to set the boundaries outside of that. So when you leave for the day at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, so hey, boss, friend, coworker, whoever, I'm not going to be available the rest of the evening. Is there anything else that I can do for you before I leave? So the answer is yes. If in the past that you allowed people to you were available 24/7, to just scale back, but you have to let people know. One of the ways that I've always done it is, when I used to work in an office environment where I had coworkers, I would always let people know, like, hey, for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to be on the phone, or for the next hour, I'm going to be making my cold calls, or, I'm not going to be available. And it wasn't that I was telling anybody to stay away. It was just letting them know so that if they did come in my office and if they did want something, I didn't want to be rude. So even if you have to put a sign on your desk, from 10 to 10:30, I'm not available, or what have you. But it's tough at first, but I'm telling you, it's empowering. And once you realize your time is your time, and you're the only one who pretty much decides what goes in your calendar. So for all of us that are so busy all the time, think about that. You're making yourself that busy. So just having that perspective. Thank you, Sky. I'm glad that was helpful for you. So I have so many questions coming in and things that I know I'm not going to get to all of them. So I'm really hoping that you're going to join us on the webinar on December 8th. I'm hoping that you'll also join us, if you're ready to write a book, to join us at Bookbound by the Sea. But more than anything, just let us know what we can do to help. There's so many great resources. Please go to that blog. And again, please join these videos. And especially share them with someone that you think might be inspired or encouraged by listening to these. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to just see if there's any last questions. Hello from Canada. Glad you're here. And Justina, thank you. You're welcome. So I don't see any more coming in. So I'm going to kind of wrap with a thought. And that is this is just kind of random, but let's just say you were given 6 months to live. Let's just say, hopefully nobody on here, that's the situation, but let's just say hypothetically you had 6 months to live. Would you do what you do on a daily basis for the next 6 months? If not, what would you change? What goals would you make sure you made happen? What relationships would you put as the priority? What would you do for yourself? What would you do for others that would be different than what you're doing today? Well, I hope we all have, 60 more years, not 6 more months, but we really don't know. So that's my thought for you is, you're going to leave a legacy, right? What you do today or tomorrow is part of that legacy. And every day is a choice. And everything we put on our task list and to-do list is a choice to either take us closer to our goals or further from them. So that's my encouragement to you, is to get clarity on that, make great choices, and let us know how we can help. So signing off, Michelle Prince, very proud certified Ziglar Legacy trainer, and I am thrilled that I get to come and share with you tonight. So make it a great evening, make it a great day, depending on where you are in the world. Take care.